अद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निधि नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैता चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैता चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। हरे कृष्ण।
श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम। Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining today. Okay. I'm glad to see all of you again. Okay. Okay. So what was the last class we discussed? Does anybody remember? Two weeks back. 2 weeks or yeah, almost. Hare Krishna. So what did we discuss in the last class? Any idea before going for yatra? Any wild guess? No problem. So, I mean, are you not following the class schedule? Hare Krishna. I hope my voice is audible to all of you, right? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Swamiji, you're audible.
Oh, great, great. Thank you. So my question is, so what did we discuss in the last class? Oh, thank you, Lakshmi Mataji. Yes. So we discussed until 16.3. Okay. So today we will continue from 16.4. 16th chapter, the divine and demoniac nature. Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga. Okay. Okay, I'm sharing my screen over here. Okay. Okay. So, in the previous yugas, other than Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Satya Yuga or Krita Yuga, there was a clear differentiation between demons, those who are demoniac, and those who are sattvic. I mean, the Brahmanical. Okay. So it was people were used to, I mean, easily make out who is demoniac and who is Brahmanical. However, when the Kali Yuga entered, so there was no different, there was no change, there was no difference between Brahmanical and demonic. Okay, so people may seem like Brahmanical, however, they possess the demoniac qualities. It is very, very difficult uh, to find out who possess demonic qualities in Kali Yuga. People may speak very, very wisely, very sweetly, uh, so helpfully, or so logically, but may possess demonic qualities. So today we will try to understand what are those demoniac qualities. Okay. So Krishna starts from Krishna gives a clear picture, a clear understanding about what are those demoniac qualities. So from 6.1 to 6.3, 16.1 to 16.3, Krishna speaks about the Dhaivi gunas. I mean the sattvic gunas, abhayam, sattva, samshuddhi, jnana, yoga, vyavastito, dhanam, damascha, yajnescha, swadhyaya, stapa, arjavam, ahimsa, satyam, krodha, tyaga, shantirapaishnam, daya, bhuteshwalo, luptva, mardavam, hrirachapalam, तेजस्यमद्रुति शौचम अद्रोहो नातिमानिता भवन्ति संपदाम दैवीम अभिजातस्य भारता. So some set of qualities which define the Dhaivi gunas. Okay, Krishna speaks about them, and we discuss elaborately about those qualities with examples. Okay, now Krishna starts speaking about the demoniac qualities. Okay, so Krishna says in 16.4, Dhambo dharpo vimanascha krodha parshame vacha ajnananchaभिजातस्य partha sampadam asurim. Krishna says pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature, O son of Pratha. Okay. So this is the start, and these are the prime, first and foremost qualities from which the further qualities develop: pride, arrogance, anger, harshness, and ignorance. Okay, see, these are the prime demoniac qualities from which the further qualities will born out. Okay, so one moment, just give me one moment. Oh, okay. So pride, anger. So these are like these are like anger. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that, how does anger develop? Does anybody remember?
ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसान्
Right,
सङ्गस्तोपजायते
right.
सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामान् कामान् क्रोधोपजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः
Samoha smriti vibrama
भ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः बुद्धिनाशात्
buddhinashat
प्रणश्यति.
pranashyanti. Right. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Right. If a person having too much attachment to anything, it may be a person or a thing or a product or a woman, man, whomsoever it may be, too much attached, too much possessed with something. Okay. Eventually, lust will develop. Lust in the sense, a desire, strong desire of I want this. Okay. When that is not satisfied, anger develops. When anger develops, the person will lose the uh, you know wise nature. He will forget the smriti in the sense what is good or what is bad, and in that condition he loses his self control and he commits mistakes. Okay. So how a person develops too much attachment to something? It may be a human being or whatever it may be. When there is lot of ignorance, From ignorance, too much attachment comes. Again, from attachment, lust will come. Again, from lust, anger will come. And from anger, again, loss of two, and again, fall down happens. So, one quality is becoming a parent to the other quality. So that is the reason these qualities which are mentioned over here are, are the root causes of the following demoniac qualities. Okay. So what are those following demoniac qualities? We will try to see. दैवी संपद विमोक्षया निबद्धाया सुरी मता मासुचा संपदाम दैवीम अभिजातोसि पांडवा. So the transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demoniac qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities. So Krishna is giving a conclusion before he's starting to before he's going to describe the demoniac qualities, giving a conclusion that what happens to those who possess demoniac qualities and those who possess the divine qualities. And he's addressing Arjuna as one with divine qualities. Okay. द्वौ भूतौ सर्गौ लोकेस्मिन् दैवासुर एव च दैवो विस्तरस् प्रोक्ता आसुरीं पार्थ मे शृणु. Now please hear, my dear Arjuna, I am going to speak elaborately about the demoniac qualities. Okay. So Krishna starts with pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasura na saucham napi chacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. So this is something important. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. So obviously, those who are with demoniac mentalities, they will definitely not follow the scriptures or not follow what is good for others. They will follow what makes them comfort, what makes them convenient, what satisfies their gratitude, and what satisfies their senses. Okay. They're completely focused on their sense gratification only. So here there are two words mentioned: pravrittim, nivrittim. So this also has multiple meanings, the pravritti and nivritti. So these pravritti, nivritti, there are two different. They are defined as two different ways also. Pravritti in the sense, like a person acting very piously to get a good birth. Nivritti in the sense, person acting divinely to avoid birth and death cycle. Okay, so these are all also mentioned. These are also can be described as two different ways which are suggested in the Vedas. Okay, so the demonic people, they don't consider these ways at all. So they are always concerned. They are always focused, centered to satisfy their senses only, and neither they are cleanly from the outside externally nor internally. So what is meant by external and internal cleanliness? Can anybody give some example?
External cleanliness could be like bathing, clean clothes, and sattvic food, sattvic lifestyle.
Okay.
Internal cleaning are religious and moral principles,
Oh,
values, ethics, truthfulness, honesty.
okay. So there was one personality uh, regarding whom there is a huge description in Bhagavatam. So this personality was completely as this personality was completely unclean. He never used to take bath. He even used to pass stool and urine wherever he sits or wherever he sleeps. Okay, and he never groomed himself externally, and people used to think him like a crazy person, mad person. People even used to beat him. They used to throw garbage on him. Do you know who was that?
Rishabhadev.
Right. Yes. Rishabhadev, you know, was one of the incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. So Rishabhadev, he took a very, very tough path of avoiding karma. Okay. By any means, he doesn't involve in any of the action. Whatever comes to him, he'll accept that. Whether it is whether it is, whether somebody honoring, somebody is honoring, doesn't matter. So he was completely unclean externally. However, when he passed urine and stool uh, for around 2 miles radius, usually, if somebody passes the urine and stool, it stinks. When he passed urine and stool, a beautiful, a nice fragrance came out of that urine and stool, and it spread to around 2 kilometers radius. So now, can we tell that person who is completely externally unclean to be a great personality according to this? Obviously,
No.
there will be a little dilemma. We will be in little dilemma. Okay. However, so Ravanasur was completely clean externally, but not clean internally. Okay. So sometimes what we need to understand is, so this cleanliness, external cleanliness, may not be applicable to those who are completely detached, like Avadutas are there, and some great personalities. They may not be taking bath regularly, like, for example, in our sampradaya, in our parampara, we have um, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Okay, so he used to spend time, or he used to do chanting in a filthy places, like, public urinals, public lavatories. He used to select those places and does his chanting. So this external cleanliness is required mandatorily. However, may not be applicable in the may not be applicable for those who are exalted personalities. Okay, so that we need to remember. Okay, and internal cleanliness is obviously, having very, very fair thought process on every living entity. No partiality, no attachment, no envy. Okay. So having fair thought process on every living entity, that is the uh, cleanliness internally. That is meant by internal cleanliness. Okay. So next, uh, असत्यम प्रतिष्ठम ते जगदाहुरणीश्वरम अपरस्परम संभूताम किमन्येत काम हेतुकाम. So the very first thought process of a demonic person is this: they say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. Okay, so this is what is the conclusion of the modern scientists. They does lot of research, and they come to a conclusion that the human beings are byproducts of the sex desires only. Other than that, there is nothing. Everything evolved itself, and everything is running by itself, and human being is the controller of everything. He can control everything. There is no controller who controls human being, nor the nature. So this particular thought process is presented very, very um, cleverly, in such a manner that everybody can accept, because it is externally visible, externally seen, that a human being coming out of human being. How is that happening? Because of the reproduction process. And people will easily get convinced with this kind of thought process. So there are many scholars, who say that there is nothing, there is no controller of this entire creation, so we can control everything, and I can maintain myself, I can do whatever I want, or I can uh, create anything, kind of thoughts they come up with. And when human beings are taught with these kind of thought processes, they will eventually become atheists. And that is a very, very dangerous personality. Atheist, if a person is not having good enough of devotion is okay, but if a person is not having completely no devotion, completely atheistic, is very, very dangerous, no matter how much ever he is scholar in the material world. We come across daily, we come across in our workplaces, in our universities, wherever it may be, people try to prove that there is no god, everything is nothing but everything comes out of reproduction system only. So what happens if a person doesn't believe god? That we get to know, a person doesn't the moment a person doesn't believe there is a controllership, we are being controlled by that controller, and we are supposed to honor that controller. If a person doesn't believe that, then immediately he will take the control and he will do whatever he wants to do, whatever satisfies his senses, he will start doing that, which will eventually become a harm to other living beings. Not only to other, it is harm to self also. So that is what the modern sciences they teach us. However, there is a very, very specific category, very less percentage of category, though they are very well uh, educated modernly, they are very well educated scientifically, still they believe in god, they believe in the controllership, they believe in the almighty god. But a major percentage of the modern scientists they don't believe, and they forcefully teach that their thought process to the common masses of people, that will eventually create a disturbance in the creation. Okay, so that is there in all the yugas, and it is severe in Kali Yuga. So according to the demoniac mentality, everything happens just because of the reproduction system, the sex desire only. That's it. But so these are the qualities of demons that we have to understand when we come across people. Okay, when somebody is trying to exhibit this kind of qualities, we need to understand that this person is being, this person is having demoniac qualities. So better stay away from him. Okay, that's what we have to do. That doesn't mean that we have to completely ignore, reject that person. So mentally, we have to stay away from that person, because in Kali Yuga, we cannot live without without dealing with the demons, without dealing with the demonic mentalities. We have to bear, we have to deal with them. However, we have to cleverly develop a attitude of mentally rejecting them, not externally rejecting them. Okay. So etam drishtim avasthabhya nastatmanolpabuddhaya prabhavachugra karmana kshaya jagato hita. So what will happen by such kind of people is being explained over here. So following such conclusions, the demoniac who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. So today, there are crazy experiments that happen. Okay, people try to um, do so few years back, there was something called Big Bang theory. So they were trying to inject something into the core of the earth, and they're trying to do a huge blast inside the earth, by which they are thinking, I mean, their experiment is that by doing so they will get to know the secrets of the creation. which is very, very harmful. I don't know whether it was stopped or whether it was done. I don't know much about that. But when people doesn't know, when people doesn't believe God, so they will come up with this crazy kind of theories and these crazy experiments, and eventually that will uh, destroy the world. For example, we see many natural calamities that happen every now and then. Okay, so for example, it could be tsunami or you know storms, big storms, whatever it may be. Or why are they happening? Why are the natural calamities happening, coming every now and then? Recently we saw a big calamity which happened in the southern part of India, in Kerala. There was a huge mountain slides which, because of heavy rains, the mountain slides fell on the people and their houses. Everything was demolished by the mountain slides. Why is this happening? Why are these natural calamities happening every now and then? Can anybody, guess?
Deforestation and encroachment.
Okay, any other examples?
Illegal mining.
Okay, any other examples?
Adharma, Prabhu.
Okay, or adharma in the sense, can you define what
Yes,
kind of
Prabhuji.
adharma?
Yeah. Not following the religious principles, non-dharmic
Yes,
actions.
yes, yes. Thank you all. Wonderful examples given by all of you. Yes. So in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, when the philosophy was spoken to Arjuna, Krishna spoke Karma Yoga. In Karma Yoga, he specifically defines what is being told to the human beings and devatas when he created the creation. He gave certain processes to be done to have a very peaceful life, to have a peaceful exchanges between the devatas and the human beings. I mean, devatas are the controllers of the panchabhutas. They are the representatives of the prakriti. Okay, so they maintain the prakriti empowered by the supreme personality of Godhead. They supply enough, or it could be food, vegetation, food, or whatever it may be, which is required for a peaceful human being. So however, they supply only when they are being supplied with the proper Vedic fire sacrifices that happen. It could be, the fire sacrifice, or it could be the way of living according to the scriptures. So when that is done, then only the representatives of the Panchabhutas, they supply and they maintain the human beings, and they bless us with the harmony. When that is not done, when too much of cow slaughter, too much of animal slaughtering happens, when too much of Avedic lifestyles happen, so they create these Adidaivika kleshas, the natural calamities. So how much ever we teach, people, they doesn't understand. They don't care at all, and they invite these kind of natural calamities. So the places where these natural calamities are happening, uh, that doesn't mean that that particular region is being completely, that particular region, they are completely living a Vedic lifestyle. And though there may be very few who are Vedic, still they get impacted by the majority of Vedic people, because of their irregular lifestyle. So others get impacted. That is the reason it is very important for us to understand and lead a Vedic lifestyle, so that it is useful for self and others also. So that is what Krishna is telling over here. He is telling that because of these people who think that there is no God, and everything happens because of the sex desires, eventually they become they create the havoc in the world. Okay. So that is the reason it is very important for everyone to learn the Vedic literature or the Vedic lifestyle from the beginning itself, from the very tender age itself. Okay. Then Krishna says, can anybody read this sloka?
कामान् आश्रित्य दुष्पुरं दम्भमानमदान्वितः मोहात् गृहीत्वा सद्ग्राहान्
Pravartante
प्रवर्तन्ते शुचिव्रतः.
asuchi vrataha. Okay. So taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work attracted by the impermanent. Okay. So can anybody read this purport?
The demonic mentality is described here. The demons have no satiation for their lust. They will go on increasing and increasing their insatiable desires for material enjoyment. Although they are always full of anxieties on account of accepting non-permanent things, they still continue to engage in such activities out of illusion. They have no knowledge and cannot tell that they are heading the wrong way. Accepting non-permanent things such as demonic people create their own god, create their own things and chant accordingly. The result is that they become more and more attracted to two things: sex enjoyment and accumulation of material wealth. The word ascetic vrata, unclean word, is very significant in this connection. Such demonic people are only attracted by wine, women, gambling, and meat eating. Those are their ascetic, unclean habits induced by the pride and false prestige. They create more principles. They create some principles of religion which are not approved by the Vedic injunctions. Although such demonic people are most abominable, abominable in the world, by artificial means, the world creates a false honor for them. Although they are gliding towards hell, they consider Prabhu's supreme instruction.
Oh, sorry.
Uh, in the world, by the artificial means, the world creates a false honor for them. Although they are gliding towards hell, they consider themselves very much advanced.
Right. Thank you, Shivam Prabhu. Thank you very much. Okay. So, it is very much live in Kali Yuga, whatever Prabhupada writes over here. So the first thing, demonic people, they think everything is just illusion, no God, and everything comes of reproduction only. And next thing, they are not clean externally, internally, and then they, because of their thought process, they create, they invite natural calamities, or they destroy the creation, they destroy the world, they destroy the peace of the peace which is there in this world. And the third and foremost important thing is that, which is described over here, which is also been described in 17th chapter also. So these demonic people, what they do is they create a set of rules which are not Vedic. Okay. And they insist people to follow those rules. Okay. And if somebody doesn't follow those rules, they may not even step back to kill them. They will kill them. Okay. So these demoniac people, and those rules also, why do they create, is because they want to lead a certain group. For example, if there is a huge crowd, okay, huge crowd in the sense, could be hundreds or thousands, whatever it may be. Obviously, every individual personality will have their own taste and their own kind of thought processes. Okay. For example, if one person is trying to lead the entire crowd, if one person is trying to lead the entire crowd, uh, for some time, for time being, the entire crowd may accept to whatever he says. However, for example, amongst the crowd, if a person tries to take lead and tries to come up with a few of the few of the ideas that a small group in within that crowd has, then people start accepting him as a leader. For example, if in a class there are 30, if in a class there are 30 students present, okay, and there is a class leader, okay, and the class leader is leading the class. However, amongst the 30, if there are 10 students who wants to enjoy, who wants to skip the class, who wants to boycott the class and go out and play. However, they are not getting right person to lead. Okay, if a 11th person takes a lead and if encourages the 11th, if they encourages the 10 students, then everybody, those people will become a group, and eventually they may influence the others also. So this is what the demonic people do. What they do is they will try to understand where people are showing interest. Obviously, a human being, if they are not taught with right knowledge, right godly knowledge, they will definitely have tendencies to enjoy the bodily enjoyments only. And people take advantage of that and they create different kind of scriptures, rituals, which satisfy the bodily needs only, which satisfies the bodily enjoyments only. We can see many created festivals which are not Vedic, which are Avedic. However, they are very popular. Huge masses of people follow those festivals. If we try to name, if you try to discuss on specifically about them, then it will become controversy. So recently I heard there was one great personality who is a Vaishnava. So he was talking about one of the custom which has been followed in a particular southern part of India. Okay, so he was trying to tell people, educate people that because of the popularity that that particular custom is getting, I'm not naming because it will again become a controversy. So how cleverly people try to blaspheme the acharyas, Vaishnavas. I'll tell you. So this particular Vaishnava, he was trying to educate people by say, educate people by opening the reality of that particular custom. So it's a very popular custom which has been followed in the southern part of India, especially in the twin states. Okay, so huge crowd goes to one particular place when that particular custom is being scheduled. It's a custom in the sense festival. Okay, so this Vaishnava, he was trying to educate that that is not that is not the way how it should be celebrated. However, because of the popularity that festival is getting, people are misusing the funds that are being collected by that festival. Does anybody ask the account of the amount that is being collected by that festival and where it is being used? Like that, he was questioning. Immediately, a couple of days later, this particular Vaishnava was targeted and they criticized him. They abused him. How dare you to, point out our festival? Who are you to point out our festival? Like that, they started criticizing, abusing this Vaishnava. Then he immediately, he did not fear, he did not step back. He came into the focus and he told that, see, I am following a particular tradition which is Vedic. I have proofs. I can prove. I have pramanas, what I am following. Okay, and by following that, by getting popularity, what I am following, by my followers, whatever funds that I am collecting, I am accumulating, I am using it back for the welfare of the society in propagating the spirituality and at the same time taking care of the common masses of people. It could be in health wise or education wise or feeding people. So this is what I am doing. Okay, now you are abusing me. Now I'm asking you, what are you doing with the money that you are collecting by conducting such festivals, which are not Avedic, which are not being prescribed in any of the scriptures? There's no answer from those people who abuse this personality. People just blindly follow. That is the biggest disadvantage of the people. The people, why do they follow is they want immediate results by following some kind of rituals, whether they are Vedic or Avedic, Shudra, whatever it may be. Am I being uh, getting rid of my suffering or not by doing so? Whether it is temporary or permanent, that doesn't matter. So people take advantage of the weak mindset of the common masses of Kali Yuga people. Okay, people immediately drive them, and likewise there is a huge there is a popular communities across the world, you know, who preach violence, nothing but violence, nothing but violence. In the name of peace, they preach violence. We don't have to name them. We know, we are seeing. Still, they don't stop. According to them, whatever they have created, whatever they are following, everybody should follow that. If not, they are good enough to kill. They are good enough to be, if they are women, they are good enough to be raped. If men, they are good enough to be killed. Okay, if a aristocrat person is there, he is good enough to be looted if he is not following their particular principles. So these are the Asuri people who create their own rules irrespective of what is being given by the God. So God says, Atmau pamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna sukam va idivadukam sayogi paramo matah. Krishna says, Atmau pamyena sarvatra. Everywhere in everything, see the Atma. Okay, see the divinity. Whether you are in distress or in happiness, doesn't matter. Please see the divinity in everything and everywhere and every being. That is the perfect belief. That is the perfection of yoga. He is the perfect yogi. That's what Krishna says. How many communities, how many so-called religions follow this principle? So, except Sanatan Dharma. In Sanatan Dharma also, very, very less percentage of people only follow that. Remaining, they don't. Because of them, the others who are following also get impacted, influenced, suffered eventually. Okay. So these are important demoniac qualities. At least, we may not have power to, we may not have potency to reject or revolt against them. However, if we know, we can at least teach to our future generation so that, they will stay back from those demoniac things or demoniac environment. Okay. So next sloka, there are two slokas. Okay. So this is a commonly the qualities that are being spoken in this sloka are commonly seen. Okay. चिन्तामपरिमेयं च प्रलयान्तुमुपाश्रितः कामोपभोगपरमा एतावादिति निश्चितः आशापाशशतैर्बद्धः कामक्रोधपरायणः इहन्ते कामभोगार्थम् अन्येनार्थ संचयान्. Can anybody read the translation?
The belief that to gratify the senses is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of their anxiety is immeasurable, bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires, and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. So these qualities of gratifying senses we were discussing. So the human society, majority of human society is centered of gratifying the senses only, nothing but gratifying the senses in whatever it may, whatever means it may be. Some people gratify their senses by following the um, um by breaking the four regulative principles. Some people they gratify their senses even even by following, by being in the spiritual organizations also. So even sometimes, you know, even spiritual organizations also becomes a platform of gratifying senses to the people. Even those are also not spared. So there are many stories. Recently I came across one story. Yeah, I'll tell you. Recently, I came across a controversy which is been happening in YouTube. Okay, so this particular person, he was pointing out one of the Vaishnava Sampradaya. Okay, he is an unmatured, uh, uneducated spiritualist, I can say. He took some examples of one of the scripture which is been written by that Vaishnava Sampradaya, and he's trying to target that. How can they write this? How can they define this? How can they give these kind of examples like that? Okay, I'm not telling openly. I'm not completely giving, what exactly happened, but try to understand the essence of it. Okay, the reason why I'm not completely opening that topic is because again, it will become a controversy. However, just try to explain how people gratify senses in different areas. It can be, people gratifying senses in a material world by usually they gratify senses by breaking the four regulative principles. I'm talking about people who gratify their senses by being in, by showing up themselves as a spiritual person, as spiritualists. So this person, see, obviously, if anybody gets any doubt in particular sampradaya, it is better to get it clarified by the acharyas of that particular sampradaya who is leading that. However, this particular ignorant, he openly starts abusing. He openly starts, commenting on this particular sampradaya, saying that, how can they write this? How can they do this? How can they say this? So in our scriptures, there are particular contexts where we have to uh, talk something about. For example, uh, you know, uh, in a gross level, uh, we don't encourage the karmakanda process. However, when it is broken into separate pieces, like, there is a separate section of karmakanda. So in the Bhagavad Gita itself, the karma yoga, which has been spoken by Lord Krishna, so it gives a little bit of about, speaks about little bit about karmakanda process. However, Krishna also tells that, those who are completely doing, those who are completely engaged in doing pure devotional service, they they don't have to follow this particular process of satisfying Devi Devatas like that. Okay, in the scriptures itself, there is certain particular classifications. Okay, that is specific to that particular context only. So without understanding the context of that particular explanation, this so-called spiritualist, he started commenting, criticizing this particular Vaishnava Sampradaya. And I was listening to that. At last, what I got to know is that he's following one such philosophy which is completely atheistic. So they name it as a spiritual organization. The essence and the philosophy of that organization is that I was shocked to hear that. So the essence of that spiritual philosophy is that, you have to fulfill all your desires. How many ever desires that develop within from you, or how many is ever desires that you desire to, you have to satisfy, you have to fulfill all of those desires. You have to start fulfilling your desires to such extent that the desires get completed. All your desires get completed. If all desires are satisfied, then there is nothing to desire, and there nothing to fulfill. Then you will be eligible to get liberated. This is the philosophy that they teach. And another dangerous thing that they teach is that to go to the higher level in spirituality, you have to have enough sexual potency. And if a woman and men indulge in the process of these mating process of mating, by which they get to know their potency, which will eventually help them to go to the higher level of spirituality. That is what they teach. And a person coming from that background of philosophy comments on a philosophy which is been followed, which is been built on the basis of the scriptures and Vedas. So what people will generally believe, a person who is coming from that background of potency with which women which speaks about the sexual potency, people will definitely tend to get attracted to that kind of philosophy only, because by nature human being has that quality of gratifying their senses by mating with the opposite gender. They don't take references, they don't read, they don't even consider the scriptures, they don't even try to read the scriptures. They'll blindly follow such baseless philosophies. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Apuryamanam achala pratishtam samudram apa pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve shashanti mapnoti na kama kami. So in the ocean, many waves will come. However, the ocean keeps quiet. It goes to some extent and it keeps quiet. If the ocean tries to satisfy every wave that comes out of the ocean, then it will flood away the cities, towns. In the same way, if you get so many desires, there is a flood of desires, then you have to have a little control by proper knowledge. If you don't control them with proper knowledge, then they will dominate you, they will step over you, you will be lost. And that particular person that particular spiritualist whom I was talking about, he was referring to one such philosophy which has no base, that is been self-cooked philosophy, which teaches that fulfill all your desires. When there are no desires, you are eligible to get liberated. Seems very, very logical, seems very, very smooth, very, very easy, but it will never happen. If you try to satisfy one desire, and there will another desire will born out of that. When you're trying to satisfy one desire, there is no
And
end to
each
the desire.
desire will also create karma, Prabhuji, right?
Correct.
More karma. So liberation will get even more
Even
challenging.
more tough. Even more tough. So I don't want to name that particular philosophy, but that is happening. By posing themselves as spiritualists, people are gratifying their senses very nicely. Okay, thus until the end of their anxiety, thus until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable. By gratifying senses, you know, so more and more pressure will increase, more and more anxiety, distress will happen, and nobody can measure that. and people will come up with, what wrong did I do? Am I what wrong did I do? Is gratifying senses illegal? Is gratifying senses a wrong thing? It is not wrong. However, it is wrong when you cross a certain level, certain boundary. So people will easily cross that boundary. They will invite troubles, measure distress, and they come back and complain, and they blaspheme God. God is creating everything. Who did create? You yourself created the anxiety, stress, everything. And why are you blaming God and others? Bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means of sense gratification. So the so-called spiritualists who play or take advantage of people who are very much interested in sense gratification, so they form groups and they take advantage, and they loot money from them. So there is one more person, now he's serving in prison. He's imprisoned. Okay, this person had about 20 million followers across the India. He was involved in a minor molestation. He misbehaved. He tried to molest a minor girl. Her parents took a dare step to complain against him, and they were uh, they were attacked. They were warned that they got threats also from the private bodyguards of this particular spiritual personality. And there was one advocate who fought by taking life risk and who owned the case and made him to serve in prison. And he was very much popular, and he if you look at the way lifestyle that is been externally exhibited by him was completely completely matches with the Sanatan Dharma. Nobody can even doubt him that he is not from Sanatan Dharma. However, when people started believing him, when people started following him, he took advantage of them. He looted money from them by telling them, by giving them the false assumptions, and by playing with their uh, sentiments, feelings. So such people are there. They take advantage. These are all come under demoniac people. So the reason why we are spending much time in understanding demonic people, demonic qualities, is because it is very, very important. Because these days I clearly observe people, uh, those who are in a higher position. It is said that yat yat acharati shrestha tat tat eva torojana sayat paramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. If a person is a celebrity, or if a person holding a higher position in society, or a organization, or a family, or a community, wherever it may be, whatever that person follows will become a trend to the others. So these days, people who pose themselves as modern literates, they bring up a philosophy of not believing God. They bring up a philosophy of just maintaining the body and enjoying to the extent of whatever their senses desire to. And people definitely follow them. People definitely get attracted to them because they are celebrities, they are trendsetters. People get misguided by them. So if we understand in depth of what are demoniac qualities, then at least we can save some crowd getting misleaded. Okay, so we'll stop here. 16.11 and 12. Okay, so in the next session We'll continue from 16.13. So anybody want to add or share anything you wanted to share? You can. If you have any questions also, you can ask. Hare Krishna. Okay. So if no questions, then we will conclude here. So we'll meet on next Friday. Okay. So upcoming is a biggest festival, which is on 26th of August, Shri Krishna Janmashtami. Okay. So take the advantage of this auspicious day. So we got many services in temple. So this time we are very particular to give chance to our uh, devotees who regularly attend classes only. Okay, because last year there was a huge crowd who visited the temple, and it became a every way from all the corners all the sides the temple was packed. So it became very difficult to take normal darshan also. So that's the reason this time there are many restrictions in the temple in allowing the crowd to take darshan. Okay. So usually, whenever such big festivals happen, we open seva for everyone. However, this time we are trying to open sevas for regular devotees who attend the classes only. So if anybody is interested, please come up, give your names, and take the advantage of serving Lord Krishna on that day and get blessed in your spiritual life. Okay. So we have more 5 days to go. Okay. Before that, you can come up and following after 26th of August, on 1st of September, we are celebrating Janmashtami Nanda. So after Janmashtami is celebrated, whatever celebrations that are celebrated in continuance to the Janmashtami, those are called Nandotsavam. Okay. So we are celebrating the Nandotsavam Janmashtami in Upuguda on September 1st. You can participate in that festival also by any means. It can be physically or virtually by donating, by contributing something to your extent. Okay. So please mark these 2 dates: 26th August, Janmashtami. 20 this day, before 26th, 25th is Sunday. Okay. So we're expecting a huge crowd on Sunday also to the Abbott's temple. So you can consider like 2 days we are celebrating Janmashtami in ISKCON Abbott's Hyderabad this year. Okay. So 25th and 26th plus 1st September. Please mark these 3 days. Try to attend and get blessed. Hare Krishna. Okay. So if no other questions, then thank you. Thank you all
Prabhuji,
for.
I wanted to know by when we'll finish the syllabus because we are almost coming close to 18 chapter because I had some recommendation.
Oh, sure, bro. Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Probably, in another, in another month, we can, in another 5 to 7 classes or more than that, not more than that, we will try to finish. I have to discuss with Govardhan Prabhu. Okay.
Mhm. So once we finish that, can we go through the 108 slokas in detail and make sure that we memorize it? Instead of doing 10 slokas a day, let's do like 2 slokas, make sure we memorize it, understand the meaning thoroughly, and like that we can do the 108 if that is okay.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu, that is fine. Yeah, actually, yeah, we had a plan of that. However, most of them were not showing interest, so we dropped that plan. If a good number of devotees are interested to memorize the slokas, yeah, it's a good idea. You can, it's a good idea. We can start a special batch. in
No,
one
instead
batch.
of a batch, I'm saying like if we can continue in the same batch so that all the people who are here have already gone through the 18 chapters. So now they can revise those 108 and kind of know it well thoroughly.
Definitely, bro. Yeah, good idea. We'll discuss on that idea. Okay, we are getting closer to complete the Bhagavad Gita again. So after that, we will definitely uh, plan that, Prabhu. Yeah. After that, after this batch is done, definitely there will be more batches. So in that, we need your help also. Okay. That's the reason we were asking to take chance in preaching whenever you get chance to preach. Okay. So that's our main intention to to bring or to give chance to more preachers. So definitely, Prabhu, we'll try. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So thank you all. I wish and pray Lord Krishna to bless all of you uh, in your material and spiritual life. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarobhyascha kripa sindho bhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.